sunshine. The two good tears and empress about to begin. Giving love to all the ancestors that's tuning in. Here comes the two good tears with some more off. Going out to the all man. I thought Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Benaki, Seminole, Skokie, you know me. The homie is OG. Coming to restore. Benaki, Seminole, Skokie, you know me. The homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the old. So it's like an eagle, my last thing and be. Ancestors is left, right, and front me. I'm all that hood dynasty live inside me. Who got a sense worth? Need to make a great this. Wild, natural style. Rain dancing under the moon. Knock through the pearly gates. Escape from Spain. We still ahead of y'all. Never racing, just slow pacing to the top of the dome. We stand tall, y'all. Never lazy. Clap, 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 clap. All talking shit. Never retreat. 10K is talk on talk, y'all. Chopper riding. We are very decent. Deep beaming. Blunt chop. Lightsaber walker. Wolf talker. Never stop. All man. I talk. Shinnecock. Chickasaw. Choctaw. Washita. Blackfoot. Benaki, Seminole, Skokie, you know the homie is OG. Coming to the school. Crown of the all man. I talk. Shinnecock. Chickasaw. Choctaw. Washita. Blackfoot. Benaki, Seminole, Skokie, you know me. The homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home. Shot. Tiger City block, big buffalo, people coming back to wreck shop. Shit, pop 'em out and pop, can't stop the rebirth for raw. Indigenous rock with the native chant. War dance, trance, at a glance. Anyone who plans after check a war dance. War dance, choose 7 feather out. The Moorish code out. Make all these 14th Amendment rappers throw it in the towel. Where commerce and trouble. These masons taking oaths, disrespecting ancestors, selling they soul. I raise my glass, make a toast to aboriginal folks, traveling through the cosmos. That's close, meaning that's on top. My wounded knee bandaged up. What's up? Geronimo's go. We taking it back from the tomb of the bones when we coming in the rooms and we tune like all man. I talk Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Benaki, Seminole, Skokie. You know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home. Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Benaki, Seminole, Skokie. You know me, the homie is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the home. The heavens are the sunshine. The good is an empress. About to begin. Giving love to all the ancestors that's tuning in. Here comes the two good tears with some more offering.
Peace, 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 peace. It's the time for this one. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to all the Aborigines and the Tonchons, North America, South America, and the conjoining islands. This is another live heavyweight jam. And as I close in on 16,000 subscribers, I like to thank everybody who subscribe and all the people who support me, as well as all the people who come through, you know, on a regular. All right. Shout out to all my day ones, everybody who been with me from day one. Thanks for the support. All right. You know, like what I like to do is just pretty much just exploit the culture from the Southeast tribes, most of the Northeast tribes, Southeast, Northeast tribes, and show you the migration and how they enslaved us here. So just to give you faith to let you know that you are the Aborigines and Tonchons of this land. There was a couple of different types of tribes that was found here, but the first tribes that they encountered was the people who they classified now as African Americans. So with that being said, this is the doing the Mississippi and the Natchez, and I'm gonna show you how they're connected to the Mississippian culture. I'm also going to show you the culture vultures who's trying to take their place. That's why it's imperative for you guys that's in all these, especially the brothers and sisters that's in the Louisiana and the Mississippi area, for you to claim who you are. You know, we got people that they claiming And I don't know. I think they should start bringing up lawsuits against these Europeans that's claiming to be them. All right. So further ado, let's get it done because I got a lot of stuff I gotta go into. So let me get with this ASAP. All right. Because I don't want to get sidetracked. Once I stop not wanting to read, then I'm already, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot to read. So let's get with this. All right. All right, so we got the Mississippian culture, the last major prehistoric culture developed in North America, lasting from about AD 700 to the time of the arrival of the first Europeans. So it's saying that the culture was intact from 700 AD to the time of the first European explorers. It spread over a great area of the southeast and the mid-continent, in the river valley of what are now the states of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, with scattered extensions northwest into Wisconsin and Minnesota, and westward into the Great Plains. The culture was based on intense cultivation of corn, maize, beans, squash, and other crops, which resulted in a large concentration of populations in town along ravine bottomland. Bottomland, practically, and yeah. I'm sorry. Politically and culturally, each large town or village dominated the satellite of lesser villages. Government was in the hands of the priest rulers, and thus the complexes might be called the theocratic village states. Moreover, warfare, which was apparently frequent, produced larger alliances and even confederacies. All right. All right. So it says, let me see something. I was reading. All right. So it's more about this topic right here. Um, hmm. Now let me just keep it moving because I got a lot more to read. All right. So it say the central ceremonial plaza provided a nucleus of a Mississippian town, and each settlement had one or more pyramid, pyramidic, pyramidic or oval earth mounds surmounted by a temple or chief resident grouped around the plaza. The settlement's pattern was typically the most of Middle America, Central and Southern Mexico, Guatemala, since as early as 850 BC, but it has not diffused into North America until the advent of the Mississippian culture. The scale of the public works in the Mississippian culture can be estimated from the largest of the earthworks monk mounds in the Cahokia Mounds, say near the Collinville, Illinois, which is approximately 1,000 feet, 300 meters long, 700 feet, 200-meter wide, and 100 feet, 300 meters high. The magnitude of such public works and the distribution of the temple suggests a dominant. Check this out. Let me see something. Hold up. A dominant religious cult and a caddy of priests command the services of large, stable, and docile populations, as well as several artists, craftsmen, and guilds. All right, so this is a little bit of what it looks like now. All right, these are monk mounds. All right, so these mounds found in Collinsville, Illinois. It says the craft work was excavated in copper, stone, wood, clay, in such forms as elaborate headdress ritual, weapons, sculpture, tobacco pipes, ifg, ifg, pottery, and ifviggy, and mask of wood and copper, jacketed wood, The elaborate design included feather serpents, winged warriors, and swastikas, spiders, human faces with weeping of falcon eyes, as well as some human figures and many geometric motifs. These elements was delicately engraved and carved and molded. See, we had shit over here, man. They always talk to you about Kemet, but we had a lot of shit over here. All right? So now check this out. Listen to this, right? This is what's going to lead me into the Natchez. All right. So the Mississippian culture has begun to decline by the time the European explorers first penetrated the southeast. Why? Why did it start declining? Because they started warring on them. They no longer had peace. Once you start seeing these Europeans come here, they broke up a lot of stuff that was going on because they ultimately wanted the land. And as long as they left you alone, then they all had the fear of you uprising against them. As long as you was, they always wanted to keep monitor your ass to make sure you was basically in good hands with them. And then when they started getting fear for you, they started enslaving you and started trying to make you assimilate into their culture. The same thing they do now. They kept tabs on the Black Panthers and a lot of these other so-called movements. That's the same thing they did when they came here because they wasn't sure whether or not they was going to uprise against them. All right. So it says, all right, so it said first penetrated the southeast and described the customs of the people living there. The Natchez are best known as of the Mississippian culture that have survived the French Spanish colonization. They number about 500 meters in the early 21st century, which we know that's bullshit. We know that's bullshit. We way more than that. All right, so this is some of the stuff that's going on with this. I want to go into another thing. All right. Let me see something. This is what they said it looked like. If you guys can see this, I got another article that I'm gonna read on this. So I wanted to just pretty much get this out the way. I did something on Cahokia, but I'm gonna redo something again just to open and back up. All right, so Southeast Indians tradition, culture pattern. They said we clearly developed during the Mississippi culture period of AD 700 to 1600s. The Mississippian maintained fine craft tradition and also engaged in long distance trade throughout the Southeast and surrounding culture area. The ceremonial century of Cahokia was home of many thousands at its climax about AD 1100 and range from 800. Now remember, they saying that the Natchez are descendants of these people. So as you see, I'm going to show you pretty much what my case, because remember, the Natchez was enslaved. They was enslaved and they was sent to the damn Caribbean. For the ones, not all of them was sent to the Caribbean because, like they said, a lot of them flee. So we're gonna really get deep into it because this is a lot of history that I never really hear nobody among our community. But I'm going to really pretty much be going into this. All right, and like I said, you got those of you guys who do different works. I like to do a little bit of everything. I could do a little bit of the legal side. I can do a little bit of you know what I'm saying, the history. But I like first of us for us to understand, and this is a lot of the naysayers out there that's saying that we wasn't these people, and we're gonna really deal with this. All right. So let's say prehistoric period. Now we touched on some things in Georgia. We touched on the different mounds that they found in Georgia, as well as the connection to the Mayans. You know what I'm saying? But it say the Mississippian culture named for the river valley in which it flourished, succeeded of woodland culture and continued the tradition of building mounds, okay? And building mounds. Thomas Jefferson said the slaves used to go up to the mounds and mourn. It's a which we were used for ceremonial purposes as sites for the home of chiefs. The culture developed hierarchy, rock. I'm sorry, I can't get that out right now. Social was with powerful centralized. All right. So this is pretty much what the standard look like. These are some other references that they got dealing with this. It's pretty much short article. This ain't really a long article right here. The Okamichi, right here. Go to Okamichi National Monuments. Like I said, it's a lot on this, but we got a lot to pretty much go on. It's like another article right here. So this from World Civilization, Mississippian Culture. Um, these are some of the key points that they got right here. You see, it got they talk about Herman DeSantos and shit, and how he brought diseases and everything. Cause remember, the Carolina and Georgia and all shit, they said all of that was part of that culture. All right, so let me open this up a little bit. Let's read a little bit of this, and let's keep it moving. All right, so here we go again. So the Mississippian period lasted approximately 800 to 1540 central. Current era. That's what CE stand for. It's called the Mississippian because it began in the middle of the Mississippi River Valley between St. Louis. Now remember they talked about Cahokia. Cahokia is a little further from the St. Louis Arch. Okay, when you see that big arch, Cahokia, the base that they said that was 1,000 feet by some meters and everything, that's not too far from the St. Louis Arch. It's saying Vicksburg. However, there were other Mississippian cultures. The culture spread across modern day U.S. There were large Mississippi centers in Missouri, Ohio, and Oklahoma. It say a number of the culture traits are recognized by, recognized as being characteristics as Mississippian. Although not all Mississippian people practice all of the following activities, they were they were district from the ancestors in adoption of some of all of the following traits. All right, it says the construction of large earthworks, pyramid mounds, and platform mounds. Such mounds were usually square, rectangular, and occasionally circular structures. Domestic homes, temples, burial buildings of others were usually constructed atop such mounds. Maize-based agriculture in most places, the development of the Mississippi culture coincided with the adoption of comparatively large scales intensive maize agriculture, which supported larger populations and craft specialization. The adoption and use of the ravine, or more rarely marine shells, as tempering agents in their shell tempering pottery. All right, so it's a widespread trade networks extending as far as the Rockies, north of the Great Lake, south of the Gulf of Mexico, and east of the Atlantic Ocean. The developments of the chiefdom or complex chiefdom level a social complexity, the centralization of the control of combined political and religious powers in the hands of few or one, the beginning of the settlement hierarchy in which one major center with mounds has clear influence or control over a number of lesser communities which may or may not possess a smaller number of mounds. The adoption of the paraphernalia of the Southeastern ceremonial complex, also called the Southern Code. This is the belief system of the Mississippians as we know it. SEC is a term are found in the Mississippi culture sites from Wisconsin. Mississippi cultures sites from Wisconsin to the Gulf Coast, and from Florida to Arkansas and Oklahoma. The SEC was frequently tied into ritual gameplay. All right, so this is like some of the areas right here where they found it at right here, Mississippian culture. All right, let's continue reading. All right, so it say although hunting and gathering plants food was still important, the Mississippians were mainly farmers. They corn, beans, squash, called the Three Sister by historical Southern East Indians. The sister provided a stable and balanced diet, making a larger um population possible. Thousands of people lived in some larger towns and cities. Typical Mississippian town was built near a river or creek. It covered about 10 acres of ground and was surrounded by a palisade fence made of wood poles placed upright in the ground. A typical Mississippian house was rectangular, about 12 feet long and 10 feet wide. The walls of the house was built by placing wooden poles upright in a trench in the ground. The poles were covered with woven cane matting. It say the cane matting was then covered with plaster made of mud. The plaster cane matting is called watu. It say and do I dab. It say the roof of the house was made from a steep A-shaped framework of wooden poles covered with grass went into a tight touch. See, this is what it looked like. This is like the projects. It's like townhouses. Like you go to any of these places, like they like townhouses right now. You see that? That look beautiful. All right. It's beautiful right here. All right. So Mississippi culture, like many before them, built mounds. They say through the other cultures may have used mounds for different purposes. We already know what the different purposes was: religious purposes, burying the dead, basically keeping certain objects in there. Like I said, when I get a chance, I'm gonna really go through that Tennessee book. It's a Tennessee book that I found that I'm actually going to read something out of, but the shit is deep and it goes into the mounds in depth. Like, as soon as I get a chance, like I said, man, me and the brother AP was supposed to be getting with some of this stuff though, but my semester's over with and I'm gonna probably have to go into really starting to put together culture freedom in depth. I got most of the footwork done as far as like just random people, but now I need to go and get the bulk of the work done by interviewing or the special guest I got that's gonna be making special appearances without that's in the documentary. All right? So the type of structure constructed ran temples, houses, and burial buildings. See, and burial buildings. They say Mississippian artists produce unique artworks. They engrave with animals and human figures and carve ceremonies objects out of flint. They say they sculptured human figures and other objects in stone, pottery, molding their clay into many shapes, sometimes decorating them with painted designs. All right, so it's a Nashville area, which is Tennessee. It was a major population center during this period. Thousands of the Mississippian era grave have been found sitting in the cities, and thousands more may exist around the surrounding areas. There were once many temples and burial in Nashville, especially along the Cumberland River. We read about this. We went over this in that Tennessee bill we did, and it was talking about the Cumberland River, and it was talking about a lot of the mounds that they found in the Nashville area. All right, so it say the decline of the Mississippians. Hernando de Soto was a explorer who from 1539, 1543 lived with and spoke to many Mississippian cultures. We know he didn't live with them because he was a fucking terrorist. He brought pigs over here that infected everybody, that caused a lot of, brought a lot of the diseases over here from fucking Europe and Spain, influenza, etc. So after his contact, their culture was relatively unaffected directly by Europeans, though they were indirectly, since the native lacked immunity to the new infection of diseases such as measles and smallpox. uh, um, say cause many fatalities, that they were undermined the social order of many chiefdom. Some groups adapted European horses and changed the nomadism. No, it changed to nomadism. That means moving around and shit in different areas. It's a political structure collapsed in many places. By the time more documentary accounts were being written, the Mississippian way of life had changed irrevocably. Irrevocably. Some groups maintain an oral tradition linked to their mound building past, such as the 19th century Cherokee. Other Native American groups, having migrated many hundreds of miles and lost elders to diseases, did not know their ancestors had built mounds dotting the landscape. They say the contribution of the myth of the mound builders as a people distinct from Native American. Now listen to this, right? What did this shit just say right here? The other Native American groups, having migrated many hundreds of miles and lost their elders to diseases. Now listen to this. And lost their elders to diseases, did not know their ancestors had built the mound, starting the landscape. The contribution of the elders as a people distinct from Native Americans. Okay, so these people who this shit happened to, they wouldn't know that they was even Indians. Anybody know who that might be? Okay. Mississippian people were almost certainly ancestral to the majority of the American Indians nations living in the regions in the historical era. The historical and modern American Indian nations believed to have descendants from the outreaching of Mississippian culture. Now listen, they say the modern day. Now listen, let me tell y'all something, right? Understand this shit right here. The majority of these people were stripped of their fucking culture. So a lot of these people now, like I said, let me say this, and don't please no motherfucker take this shit out of context and tomorrow make a video saying that, oh, this is what a Tantralist one said. Nah, listen to this. I'm gonna say this again, okay? Most of us been stripped of our fucking culture, okay? The only reason a lot of us know what tribes we belong to is through the fact that we might have family members. Some people can go back further and find out other things, okay? But that's not for the vast majority. They get told you that the majority of people that built the mounds didn't even know that their ancestors built mounds. Now listen to this. Now, I'm going to read this again. The Mississippian people were among certain ancestral, say, to the majority of American Indians, nations living in this region in the historical era. The historical and modern day American Indian nation believed to have been descendants from the outreaching Mississippian culture, including the Alabama. Okay, now I ain't saying that the Alabama is a tribe. The Alabama is a tribe. Okay, the Apache, the Caddo, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Chickaw, Muskogee, Creek, Gullah, the Hittichati, the Hayuma, the Kansa, the Missouri, the Mob. Now the Morbians, what is that? Mobile, Alabama, Morbians, the Natchez, the Osage, the Cooper, the Seminoles, the Tunaku. Sorry, y'all, y'all already know how I get down. The Yamasee and the Yuchi. Okay. Now, these are tribes that a lot of us are a part of, okay? But a lot of us are not connected to it because we agreed to be assimilated into this European tradition. We agree to go to work every day, whether we wearing a shirt and tie, wearing a skirt, and we separate ourselves from knowing any of this culture because we don't have time to come back and read and do research on our history. That's why you got people like me, because everybody's not going to know who the fuck they are. So you need people like me. Everybody always talk about what you teaching the history for. Listen, I'm willing to go stand at the United Nations. But until people come up with a plan to what the fuck we going to do, we need to know that these are our people. That's what first thing we need to understand first, all right? We need to understand first. They're telling you that the Natchez are descendants of these motherfucking people, okay? Now look, let me show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all two things before we go further, all right?
Man, I want to
Now
say
this
peace.
is, oh man, hold up, AP. What you gonna say, AP? Go ahead.
Kicking it off, man. This is heavyweight right here, man. Just showing the connections between the Natchez and the Mississippian culture, and show how Mississippian culture had connections with Omax, and we all know what the Omax was connected to. So it's just deep, man.
No doubt you heard they talk about Nashville because all that shit was the same. When they came here, they started breaking up the land and putting governors and separating the land. Now, check this out, right?
Right.
Now I'm trying to find some real information on them. I had a video before talking about the Nash. I can't find the video though, but if you go back and look at the video I put up about the Nash chat or whatever, and I think it was the Devil Punch Bowl or whatever. I showed you it was black tribes, and that was the Nash chat that was in Mississippi or Louisiana area, and these brothers were sitting there telling you the culture. Now I found this right here. This is called the Kiwi of the Indians. All right. Now I guess they be having like a ball or something. Like every year they have a ball and they throw something like for the people or whatever. But this is what people looking like that's claiming to be Nash chat. Now I'm gonna show y'all something else, okay? And this is the shit that we need to stop, yo. We need to stop this shit because you see this mongoloid right here. These people are not part of the fucking of us, man, unless they mixed in with us. And they show these people so conveniently, so you will see her like, oh shit, that's what a real Indian look like. Nah, we need to go back and snatch our culture, and we need to start suing these Elizabeth Warrens and these people who go back and try to claim to be who the fuck we are. Now listen to check this video right here, y'all. Check this out. Now let me turn this back on. Check this out right here, y'all. All right, let me go back right here. Fair use, of course. Now listen to this. Look at these people, y'all.
Chuck, tell us about this powwow. I understand that you're the chief.
Well, I'm the sort of the powwow committee chairman, you might say. The committee is sort of whoever wants to help out. I run it sort of like a dictator. I'm a benevolent dictator. I take suggestions, but I don't always follow them.
Look, you heard what he said? You heard what he say? He says he's a benevolent dictator. He takes suggestions, but don't always follow them. Now look for any black people on here, y'all. Okay, look, he said he's a benevolent dictator. He takes suggestions, but don't always follow them.
American culture back when I was Boy Scouts, and I had some friends that we did little, pageant shows at campfires and that sort of thing. But it developed into a lifelong interest, and I ended up going with friends to Oklahoma to Native American functions and powwows, and I actually lived out there for a few years doing my medical training, and just happened to work it out where I could be out in Oklahoma. Went to a lot of powwows and got to have a lot of Native American friends and friends that were non-Indian that were involved with.
Now look, he telling you he not a fucking Indian. He telling you his connection is through Indians is through the Boy Scouts. Now remember, the Boy Scouts was created by the motherfucking Indian, by us, all right? And he's telling you his connection to these Indians, like a lot of these other Europeans. They are pretenders. They go to these powwows to want to be the people that they and the problem is with me is that these motherfuckers should be the least people who should be allowed to come around of these fucking powwows, because you are descendants of the people who came in and destroyed these civilizations. Now you want to be part and pro-cell to these civilizations and then sit there and say you had nothing to do with this shit. To claim to be an Indian when you know you are descendants of Europeans that came here is the biggest phony culture vulture shit that I've ever seen in my fucking life, y'all. Now we're gonna play some more of this.
If you don't have a good drum, a good group of singers,
look, there go some brothers right there. Look.
As good a powwow as it could be. And we've got an excellent group of singers this year. Van Big Horse is
okay.
Osage from Huska, Oklahoma, and he brought
them crackers.
Friends out.
Them crackers.
This is the,
look, these motherfuckers. Look.
Singing this past summer.
Look.
Ceremonial dance and
yo, would you look at these fucking crackers, y'all? Look at these. Oh my God, hold up, man. Let me open this up, man. I don't think y'all can see this shit, y'all. Let me full screen. You see these motherfuckers, y'all?
And actually, I was out there this summer for the dance here in Hominy, Oklahoma, and this top-notch singing for Southern Plains style powwow singing.
How long have we been having powwows here at the Grand Village?
Well, of course, this is a historic site where Indians, the Natchez Indians were here up until the early 1700s. Which had been, you know, for hundreds of years. Now, the style of dancing they did, I'm sure, was a little different. What we're doing now is a sort of Southern Plains style powwow, but this is our 19th year to have the Natchez powwow.
A beautiful place to have it, too, a very historical place.
Oh, it's beautiful. The site is really nice, and it's has a special interest, and I guess specialness to it, to have it here with the mound, where there was ceremonial Indian events going on, you know, up until recent centuries. But it's a special place. It's a beautiful place, and Jim Barnett does a great job of keeping the historical aspect of this intact, and a really nice museum that gives the Natchez Indian history to a certain extent in there. And
yeah, you know what?
So it's a nice place. We're honored to have the powwow out here, and
I don't know why it's flocking up. Let me close this out right here. I think it might be because of this.
Honored to have the staff at the village help out so much with putting on the powwow.
Well, evidently, of course, they played dances today, and evidently they did a rain dance a couple of days ago, because this is the best one I've ever seen.
Well, I always tell people I place an order ahead of time. If I order get feeling, we've got beautiful weather. We've been really fortunate.
Do y'all see this shit, y'all? I mean, to be real. Do you see this shit, y'all? Yeah, this is pathetic, bro. This is like, I mean, come on, man. Do you see this shit, yo? Not a single Indian in sight. He's telling you he's not a motherfucking Indian. He's telling you he's not an Indian. So how many of the rest of these? This shit is a fucking costume. This is a damn costume, fucking Halloween costume party, yo. You understand? And look, and this is like, it's like a smack in the fucking face, man. Like for real, man. It's like smacking the fuck. I don't care what you put together. If you ain't got the real people there, then you might as well keep shit, and you might as well practice your culture. You should be walking around there with nooses and shit, and implementing. I mean, do what your ancestors did. How your ancestors was killing people and running around here taking people cultures. Now your ancestors killed the people and then made most of us basically abandon who we were. Now they came through and just picked up everything, and now they running around here trying to be like us. All right, so I mean, this is ridiculous. You look, this is what the Natchez look like. Okay, and then also look, you see this? See this? This is what the Natchez look like. All right. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna read some more of this. All right. So this is basically this is Natchez PDF I found. All right. This is, let me go back up. This is the Natchez. This is what Natchez. That's how they pronounce it. Natchez. All right, Nazi. All right, so I mean, because I already know how people always ask me and shit like, well, let's pronounce this way. Man, listen, it's not. They say Nazi. That's how I say. They say the name Nazi pronounced Nazi. All right, it say although people say it it say, and the French pronunciation was not may have come from the people village, the Nazi, meaning great or grand village. Other possible spellings of the middle include not Neve, not Nazi, Natchez, not Tuxi, and Nazi. Something say one early writer listed the Nazi as the Sunset Indians. The Cherokee called them Ani Na Tasala. I can't pronounce that. Ani Na Tala. Tasla. I can't pronounce it because it's a TSL. I don't know how the fuck to even pronounce that. But it's Ani Na Tasala. All right. Let's try it. Let's work with that. All right. It says some say the people call themselves the Talio, or the Coel. It say, but the Natchez Nation gives it name as the Wenatchees. Can't listen. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce some of this shit. All right. Let's go into the main meat of what I'm trying to get into. All right. So boom, let me read a little bit of this right here, because this one pretty much touch on some other things I'm gonna be talking about, how they enslave. All right. So it's a population. The Natchez tribe may have numbers around 6,000 people in the 1682. Say at the time of first contact with the French. Other estimate for the later 1600 were 3,500 or 4,500. Following their conflict with the French and other tribes, the number of the Natchez warrior dropped to 300 in 1731, but the count did not include their family members. The French deported as many people as slaves, but 180 warriors avoid the attack. And remember that the French deported. Keep that in mind, okay? Because we're going to see when you study the Nazi, okay, you see that they study voodoo. Oh shit! But the Africans taught them voodoo. No. Where is they at? They located in Mississippi, Louisiana area. They also study voodoo. We're going to see some articles talking about how they study voodoo. Okay, now what I find strange is this, right? So I thought the French brought Africans over here, or brought slaves over here. If the French brought slaves over here, how do they have time to enslave the Indians too? Think about it. Yo, listen, let me tell y'all something, yo. The biggest thing that you can ever be lied about is to keep thinking they bought all these Africans here. They was enslaving people here who resembled Africans. Remember what James Chatter tells you. The first Americans resemble Africans in South Pacific. I'm taking the Australian out because I don't see nobody here look like no motherfucking Australians. Okay, so we just going to say Africans in South Pacific Islands, okay, or South Pacific Rim, okay. The French deported many of the people as slaves. So where did the French deport them to? Maybe some of them people that's over there in France today are descendants of the Natchez or the Nazi. Interesting, right? Along with it was already black people in France or France or whatever you want to call it. Okay, say, but 180 warriors avoided the attack, and let's go down. They say and joined the Chickasaw. Estimate places about 20 to 150 warriors with the Creek. No figures was recorded for those living among the Cherokee. One source suggests a total of 300 Nazi in 1836 because they was living with other nations. The Nazi population was counted separately from that time on. Okay, now check this shit out. Okay, now I say the original group affiliations. The ancestors of Nazi were the mound builders. Do you think these motherfuckers is ancestors of the mound builders? You think these people ancestors of the mound builders? Look at these idiots. You think these people ancestors of the mound builders? Look at these people. Look. Yo, it should be hefty. Go ahead, because I don't know every time I say something. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just saying it's really ridiculous and it's sickening to see how these people then took over our culture and assimilated and found their way inside of it. But you know, even as we looked at that Webster's 1828 dictionary, right? And we look at how it talks about the Americans being the copper color races found here. But then it says later on in that same sentence, which they say is now applied to descendants of Europeans. And this is exactly what we're looking at right now. The descendants of Europeans and Mongoloid Eurasians taking over our culture, you know?
Facts.
So it's just deep, man.
And real talk, AP, and that is what they did. Now what they doing is anybody born here they allow. First it was only for Europeans. Now it's for Chinese, for motherfuckers of other lands come here. They Americans, and like I said, yo, that's why I do these videos. I do these videos so the people who don't know that they Aborigines can probably find me and probably find the rest of the brothers who doing the research or whatever and put their history together, come together and think about it like, hold up, man. It was enslaving people all these places where they claimed they was taking fucking Africans, they was enslaving Indians. But what they do is they lie about the fact that a lot of people died, which a lot of people did die because of the war, but they lie to you about that fact. Number two, like these numbers that they giving us, we know that them numbers is bullshit. Because if which I'm gonna go to later on in this or whatever, I'm only at the third joint, man. I got a bunch of other articles up here to read, so we're gonna be going in for a minute. Look, original group affiliations. The ancestors of the Natchez were the mound builders, specifically the final group of the Mississippians. Okay, it says culture. The Mississippians culture. So they telling you that the motherfucking Nazi was the Mississippians. Okay. Now the French came and they were sending the Nazi out to other places. Where could oh my God, hold up. So the Nazi practiced voodoo. The French enslaved them. The French sent them to the Caribbean. Maybe these people could be the Haitians. And I already know that they are the Haitians. I already know that for a fact. because when the clues is too many clues leading to that. They're telling you this stretch all the way up to Illinois. They tell you that they tell you that Chicago was founded by a Haitian. He was not a Haitian. He was a motherfucking Indian who spoke French. That's all he was. He was an Indian that spoke French. Okay? And this is what they do. They lie to us. They use us so many with these different stories. Oh shit, well, oh, they brought Africans here. The Africans taught the Native Americans voodoo. Get the fuck out of here. Them people that they took over there, I bet you if we really do the research of these people that came from these colonies where they practice voodoo in Africa, I bet you that the French controlled them country. I bet you if we go back and really look and really start doing some research, a lot of these places where they claiming that these Africans practice voodoo at today, I guarantee you the French had control of them because the French was taking these people from here over there and they confused them to the Caribbeans as well. Okay, so what we do know is the Natchez were the mound builders, along with a lot of our other ancestors, the final group of the Mississippian culture. In later times, both the Turks and the Gurgur were under the Natchez protection, but neither were related to them. It is possible that the Tinsa and the Chitamacha, they say, were once united with the Natchez, but the Chitta Macha spoke a totally different language. During the late 1600s and early 1700s, the Natchez fought with neighboring groups as well as the French. In 1729, the Chictaw and the Quarpar attacked the Natchez and almost brought about their destruction. The Natchez scattered and found homes with the Creek, the Cherokee, the Chickasaw, and the Catawba. It's a descendants of the Mississippian culture and the mound builders. The Natchez were skilled artists, farmers, the traders who developed a unique culture, unlike most neighboring tribes, which operated under a democratic manner. The Natchez had a strict class system and a bureaucratic leader who operated as both a political and a religious authority. The upper class consisted of son nobles and esteemed people of commoners. It's a or the Mitch groupie, the Mitch groupie. It's a made up of the labor force, although many sources indicate that the French essentially destroyed the Natchez and sold most of the remaining people into slavery. Some of the surviving refugees in other tribes, several groups still exist that claim their heritage of the Natchez. The Gore, Oklahoma, Eastern Natchez, Columbia, South Carolina, and the Distos, the Natchez, Cusco, Ridgeville, South Carolina. Let's read some more of this. I was going to end it right there. I was going to go into something else, but we're going to go on some more. All right. So there's only a few of the small southeast communities. The Natchez name also live on in towns like Mississippi, Louisiana, Indiana, Alabama, as well as a parkway on other sites. All right. So let's go into a little bit more. You know what? We touched on some of this shit, but you know what? I'm gonna go now to about right here. I'm gonna read this whole page because a lot of this shit right here is beautiful. And look how they depict these people. Even though that we know that these are not the people or whatever, but they got similar hue like we do. All right. So let me see something. All right. I'm gonna go back up. We're gonna read this, all right. So archaeology evidence shows that the Nazi culture may have begun as far as the 700 century era, saying in addition to their Mississippian ancestry, the people may have also been part of a powerful Quaquatam chiefdom that the Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto, 1496 to 1542, encountered on his 1542 expedition. These Europeans left behind the first disease to which the native tribe had no immunities, smallpox and the bubonic plague. That, I mean, drastically reduced the population of in the lower Mississippi River over the next century. Now we know that's not true because there would not be no Nazi left today, and the French wouldn't have no people. Because remember, when you talk about De Soto, you talk about the Spanish. The French came later. So if the French came, there would not be no remnants or no people left for the Nazi if they all was destroyed by diseases. Common sense. At the end of the 17th century, the Nazi had settled in several autonomous, self-governing communities that encompassed some Tanakan-speaking refugees. Many people banded together for protection from the British, who came to seek areas seeking slaves. Okay, now, if the British was bringing fucking Africans here, then why are they looking for fucking Indian slaves? Yo, listen, let me tell y'all something, right? You heard this shit here first, all right? And this is not no big up and nothing, but I'm just telling you like this, y'all. The British did not go to fucking Africa to bring any fucking slaves here, okay? That is the biggest lie. They confuse you with the Spanish, the Portuguese, the French, and the British, and they try to make all of these stories the same. We live in North America. They're telling you they only brought 380,000 people here. We don't know where these people, we know that these people came from the West Indies, but we don't know whether or not they came from Africa. Okay, now you got people who saying, well, you know, you can find, I like the article I read yesterday in the Virginias. I don't even believe that. Okay, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Because the French, the English was only going in the Caribbean. They had so much going on here. They didn't have time to send all these people out to bring boats here because they was constantly getting their ass kicked here. So they didn't have time to go to all these and leave all of these ports and everything open. So they needed as many men as they can to fight us here because we was handing it to them. So they had time to go over there and bring all these people here, and then you gotta ship a boatload of fucking slaves, and then we fighting them. Come on, man, use your fucking brain. For 1 minute, we tell you that Reconstruction was a lie, but then y'all you resort back to everything we find in the history books. And you hear me read from numerous sources, but I'm coming in this shit with a different perspective. I already know that they lying about a lot of this stuff, but you have to come in it with what you already learned, because the history is telling you the truth in some ways or another. Okay, so like I said, man. Let me read the shit again, y'all. Okay, many people banded together for protection from the British. I thought the British was our friend. Okay. It's who came to the area seeking slaves. Okay. Why did the British come to the area seeking slaves if they had all these millions of Africans? Okay. All right. Let me go. Let me keep it moving. So the hereditary chief of the Nazi and the great sons were a ceremonial leader, but the outlying groups had chiefs. By the time the French arrived, the Nazi had towns in addition to their main one. Okay. Now check this shit out. Look, this is what I want to read. The Europeans move into the Nash territory. Reine Robert Cavalier de LaSalle, that's why they always talk about LaSalle or whatever. It say 1643, 1687, expedition in 1682, the next Nazi encounter with the Europeans. Soon after LaSalle expedition descended, the Mississippi French and English explorers, fur traders, military units, and missionaries visit the area. The French opened their first trading port in 1713, thus beginning the colonization of the land. The Rye had no success in gaining converts among the Natchez, whose religious beliefs were strongly integrated with the social system. The British fared better at making allies with the Natchez, particularly by befriending bearded chiefs, who was in charge of the three villages. The Natchez villages, however, was divided in their alliance. Hickory and White Apple in the immigrant center of Trois and Gregory were anti-French, whereas great villages of villages supported the Europeans. Hold on, we're gonna go on. This shit is getting good now. All right. So conflict with the French. It's because I got a bunch of shit up here, y'all. So I wasn't only going to read the few things or whatever. I already kind of read through some of this stuff or whatever. But a lot of these PDFs I had saved on my computer or whatever, and I just kind of glanced, just kind of speed read through some of this shit or whatever. But check this out. Let's keep it moving, y'all, because this is getting kind of interesting, y'all. So after the British and Natchez under the bearded chief raided the trading posts, the French set up a military control to restore peace. The Natchez executed 6 of their own war chiefs and 3 other people and sent their heads to the French governor. Damn. The great son even sent laborers to help build Fort Roslot. For the next few years. Relations remain friendly. The great son bothered Tattooed Serpent 1725 and his mother Tattooed Arm. They encouraged an alliance with the French. When the French sergeant shot a Nazi warrior, however, the men of the White Apple village retaliated, wounding the plantation director. Tattooed Serpent negotiated peace by the anti-French fraction, continued their raid after Tattooed Serpent died. In 1725, the great son supported them against the French. 3 years later, the great son died, and his young successor was no match for the growing power of the White Apple chief. That left Tattooed Arm as France's main ally. Okay, so they was doing the same shit here, selling each other out, y'all. See this? They were selling each other out. Now check this out. Here we go. This is what they came for. The land. This is all on it was the motherfucking land. Okay, now check this out. Let's keep it moving. So it's the situation between the Nazi and the French worsened. In 1729, when Sieur I can't speak French, y'all, so you have to forgive me. These next couple words coming up is going to sound awful, but we're going to get through this shit. Sometimes spelled Chapat, Chepat, D-Chip, and Chapot. It's a new commandant for Fort Rosalie ordered the Nazi to move from the great village so he could have the land for a plantation. Although the great son has no intentions of complying, he requested 2 moons to build a new village elsewhere. Chapat agreed, but demanded rent, bird, coin, pelts, and for whatever time the Natchez remained. The commandant threatened to imprison the great son if he did not comply. Natchez used that time to plot against the French, and at the first frost, they attacked it. See? They first Rosalie and other forts along the river, killing more than 200 French, the Yazoo and upriver tribe, the Natchez, had enlisted to help them murder more. Natchez captured 700 women, children, and slaves. As part of the chapter, it say the warriors refused to touch him with their weapons, so they had a member of a lower class whom the French called the skin Kurt club him to death. Damn, club him to death. That's with a bat. A club was a bat. Okay, a club was a bat, y'all. Oh, we gonna get into this shit, man. I wasn't planning on going. Fuck it. Let's keep on reading. Destruction of the Natchez. What you got to say, AP?
No, I was just saying, man, this shit is heavy. So, you know, you might want to take another deep breath, give people a chance to get their pens and their paper out. Cause this shit is heavy, yo. This shit is super heavy. Hashtag the gig is up. Y'all already know.
No doubt, man. We got 140 people in there, man. Please hit them like buttons. If you get a chance, like I don't push the hitting the like buttons, but we want this video to be trending so people can find it. All right, so people can find this, man, because we need this history to come out. All right, we need this history to come out. The only way you're gonna really find this history, unless you look it up, unless you really pull up some of these PDFs and some of this information and you read it yourself. What? Okay, all right. Not Dr. Seuss. I'm not one of the best narrators, but guess what, though? The Most High compelled me to do this until I guess the Most High stopped me from doing it. I'm gonna continue on doing it. All right, so let me keep it moving. All right, so the destruction of the Natchez, after gathering their allies, including the Choctaw and the Quapaw, they say the French attacked the Natchez, who released the prisoners and escaped across the river to Louisiana. It say where they built a fort on Sicily Island. Sicily Island. How the fuck Sicily Island? I thought Sicily was in Italy. Sicily Island. They say, but the following year, the French had forced the Natchez to surrender. The French burnt their prisoners to death, but the majority of hold up. Let me see if it goes into I don't know if it goes into this. It don't sound like it going into this, but let me read it. Let me see something. Hold up. Yeah, it's not going into that one. Hold up. See something. I guess this going to continue now after I read this. So fuck it. Let's do this, man. Let's continue reading this shit, man. This is getting real heavy. All right. So the massacre of the destruction of the Natchez. It say some early sources indicate that the Choctaw, they say, plan to join the Natchez in attack. In the attack against the French. Date was set for December 1st, 1729. The Choctaw and the Natchez each had equal numbers of faggots. What? Huh? Oh shit! Had equal numbers of faggots. A bundle of twigs. That's what it says. Faggots. A bundle of twigs. Both together to be used as fuel. It say that they use. Just hold that. Just hold that. Just hold that. I don't want to start laughing because it's gonna throw me off, yo. Throw me off. Bundle of motherfucking twigs, faggots. All right, bound together to be used as fuel. They use to time the attack. One faggot was to be thrown into the fire daily, so that they could count down the days. Several stories that have been told that about the Natchez attack several days early rather than on the appointed day in concert efforts with the other neighboring tribes. One account blamed the premature attack on the great Sun Mother, who remained loyal to the French. See, they were selling each other out. Some tried several, and this is what you get. You get the people who figure they got their best interests at hand. Most of the tribes who was cool with a lot of these Europeans was basically the people in power and some of the under tribes under them. But you see, most of the time, what we're dealing with is our own fucking people that sold us out. Okay, it was our own people that sold us out. So the great Sun Mothers who remained loyal to the French. She tried several times to warn the French military of the impending attack, but her message was ignored. She believed that the attack would be less deadly if the Nazi raided, raided alone, and the French could then prepare for the other tribes. It is said she took some of the faggots to hasten the day of the invasion. Story, another story given by Dumont de Montgommery. It's a soldier of the Fort Risoli blamed the chief's son each day from that of the plot. The chief of the two nations had each burned one fatal faggots. It say, but it happened one day that the great chief of the Natchez having gone, let's go up here. Let's go up here. Shit is getting good. It say gone the temple after having thrown into the first one of the faggot. According to the custom, they turned round to speak to the guardian of. They turned around, turned around. This is where these words come from. They turned around to speak to the guardian of the temple, a young lad, his son, who had come with him, felt an irresistible inclination to imitate what his father has done. He took the two faggots, therefore, and threw them into the fire, which was the real cause of the Nazi event, the massacre, 2 days attacking the French on the 29th of November. Now, look, you hear that? They were supposed to attack on the 1st, but because he did what they seen the father do, they attacked early. I guess the faggots was a way of they counting down the days, so each bundle going, they would know it was a day closer to attack. That shit is interesting, y'all. It's real interesting. And remember, this is we talk about the Mississippians and how we connected the Natchez to the Mississippians. But next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you that the Natchez was enslaved. Okay. Now I'll show you some other things as well too, just to go along with it. All right. The Natchez, who were responsible for raiding New Orleans, did not arrive until 2 days later. They did not gain entry to the capital and returned to their village disappointed. The Choctaw went to the Natchez village and were only given a small portion of the goods the Natchez had taken from the French. The Natchez called the Natchez dogs and accused them of attacking early so they could take all the spoils for themselves. Perhaps this was way the Choctaw joined the French in destroying the Natchez a short while later, yo. This shit deep, yo. This shit is deep, yo. This is real deep, yo. So, all right, so it say, now check this out. Look, we got another story right here. Now check this shit out, y'all. What island is connected to Santo Domingo? I'm gonna give out 3 free T-shirts. If somebody can tell me. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let me go here real quick. All right, hold up. Let me see something real quick. Let me open my chat up real quick. to open up, y'all. I mean, yo, this history is deep, y'all, and we see how they covering it up. Like what I found interesting about studying the Nazi or whatever, that they practice voodoo. Somebody said Puerto Rico. Nah, Santa Domingo. Santa Domingo. Hold up. Santa Domingo. What's next to Santa Domingo? You guys look it up. Let me see something real quick. All right, hold up. Santa Domingo is Hispaniola. All right. Okay, Laney. And hold up. Laney. Let me see something. All right. Somebody said Haiti too. Hold up. Let me see something. Let me go back up. The first person said something. I promise you I'm going to send you a t-shirt. And I'm going to read it out. Let me something. And I know all y'all knew, but I can't send all y'all t-shirts. I wish I could, y'all. I definitely wish I could. Real talk.
The first one to say it is Laney, so you know.
All right, okay, all right. So Laney, email me and send me your contact information, and I'm gonna send you a t-shirt. Go on to my website, and you pick which one you want, and tell me the name of it, and I'm gonna send it to you. And just you got my email. It's Chief of Time. To put it right here in the description. Right here in the description. I mean, listen, I'm gonna start doing this a lot, y'all. I'm gonna start giving out t-shirts and shit just for the hell of it, right? Because y'all support me, man. I love y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I love all the people who come through. Real talk, man. Y'all real good people, man. I fuck with y'all heavy, man. And I, you know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate everybody that come through, man. You know, shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters. All right. So let me go back to this. All right. So look, check this out. Check this shit out, y'all. 400 Nazi, the great son, among them, they sold into slavery into Santa Domingo. Do we ever hear? Yo, man, like I said, y'all, look, I got 7, 8 sources telling you that, listen, if the French brought Africans here, right? Why you never hear about? They see what they doing is this. They're covering up the fact that it was already that the Nazi already practiced voodoo. They was already practicing voodoo, and they was already no Africans came there and taught them voodoo. What do the people in Haiti fucking worship? What is Haiti known for? Voodoo. What island is next to Domingo? Haiti. Come on, yo, listen, my dude. Yo, we can't get no closer with this history than this. We can't get no closer. Nobody else is doing this. We can't get no closer. Listen, check this shit out, right? So I say the few of the prisoners got away and continued to attack the French voyage. It say, but most of them fled to other tribes. The French did not exterminate the Nazi, and some source claim, but the people scattered among other tribes. 180 warriors who were not present during the battle. It say took. All right, look, we're gonna keep on going. All right, we're going to keep on going. Matter of fact, I'm going to go into the next page right here, and then we're going to go into something else, all right? So it say, took shelter with the Choctaw. It say, in 1735, they built a separate village, Nani, Hamji. It say about 50 Nazi gunmen ended up around Tallahassee Creek, where they occupy a town called Natchez and part of a settlement called Abaskidski. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Y'all know how already. I ain't listen. Look. I mean, the ancestors are speaking through me, but I don't know how. You know what I'm saying? Some of these were Abakatski. Abacotsky. A large number joined the Creek in Alabama. Others went to the Cherokee, who were removed to the Indian Territory. Now, look, so these people fled Mississippi, went and joined some of these other tribes, went and joined the Cherokee, and then they was removed and sent to the Indian Territory in 1832. Many of the Nazi ended up near Tahlequah. You see how some of these words are pronounced, yo? They look Arabic to me, some of these words, man. And some of them look Arabic and some of them look Hebraic. Okay, Tahlequah. Look, Tahlequah. This look like somebody like motherfucker be naming their daughters all these crazy ass name or whatever. Tahlequah, 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 Tahlequah. Okay, that sound like a black girl name. Tahlequah, Tahlequah, Tahlequah Jackson. Even though Tahlequah Jackson thought she was from Africa, she was really a descendant of the Natchez. That don't say that. I just said that. All right. So, and the Muskegee, the Eastern Oklahoma, some people moved to South Carolina with the Kabata. It's a but left in 1744 to avoid revenge from their adopted tribe over several murders. Okay. Now, let me see something real quick. We don't need to go into all this right here, but this is pretty much deep, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Hold on. Let me see something real quick. All right. You know what I'm going to do? Let me see something. Language preserve. All right. Let me see. I'm going to go into this real quick. All right, so hold up. We're gonna go right here. We're gonna read a little of their religious ritual and the creation story. Let's read the creation story, man. All right, check this out. Let's read this right here. The creation story. Religion. All right. So the Natchez creation story said the infinite spirit, y'all. That we know what the infinite spirit is. That's the Most High. Okay, the infinite spirit. What say? Motherfucking energy is infinite. It don't never end. All right, so they call the infinite spirit. Damn, that's a new word, y'all. That's a new word. We can call the Most High the infinite spirit. Okay, I'm using that. Sorry, I'm using it. So the infinite spirit created all good things. Some of the little spirits, his helper. Also assisted by making some of the beautiful things in the universe. Wow. The little spirits, aka could be angels or other workers of the Most High. Okay, so these spirits were free, but they were respectful as slaves. The infinite spirit tied up the leader of the evil spirits who might do harm in the world. Yet some of the evil ones' spirit helped it still cause trouble. Prayer could prevent them from doing harm. To invoke the good spirit, the people fasted. And prayed. What? I thought fasting came from the Muslims. I guess everybody had a. What you gonna say, P? Go on.
No, I was just like, that's heavy right there. Cause that's what you told. You told that fasting, Ramadan, all these various things that deal with your diet comes from the Muslim or the Islamic traditions. But this says otherwise right here.
But think about Tahlequah, Qua. You know what I mean? Women I know named Qua, y'all. Look, Tahlequah. I'm gonna go back and shit real quick. I can't get this shit out of my brain. Tahlequah. How many people y'all fucking know named Tahlequah? Qua? Ta? Come on, man. Yo, you can't make this shit up, yo. You cannot make this shit up, yo. All right, fasting and pray. The infinite spirit also formed man from the clay and breathed life into him. So hold up. They got a story the same as the story that they telling you in the damn Bible without contact of Christ. No. How do they have a story the same as that's in the Bible without Christian contact? Because the Bible had to be invented in the Americas, y'all. Okay. Fasted. What did they say Jesus did? Or Yahash, I mean Yahshua, or whatever you want to call them. Okay. Because like I said, I don't believe no Jesus, I don't believe no Caesar boys. Yeah, but I do believe that there was an energy, or there might have been a person that walked who could have had the same qualities of such Yahshua, or what we consider to be Jesus. Hung. They said that they was hanging people who was freedom fighters, or people who was. This story might have just came from our people, man. What was they doing to people who was fighting? What did they do to certain people like Nat Turner? They lynched them, and they turned the motherfucker into cooking grease so people can see that, and they wouldn't get the idea to do the same fucking thing. What do? They lynch the person, or they crucify that person. Okay, now look. Once again. The infinite spirit also formed man from clay and breathed life into him. When people went wrong, he sent a man and a woman to earth to teach humans how to live. Damn, bro, this shit is starting to regulate with me. Damn. It say the man was the son, younger brother. What? It say he instructed the people to keep a sacred fire constantly burning in the temple, because fire was a piece of the sun. He also gave the people a code of conduct and a daily living. The main rules were to kill only in self-defense, not commit adultery, not steal, nor lie, get drunk, or not to get greedy, but to give freely and share with those in. And think about it, y'all. Think about it. This is kind of the reason we in the situation we in, because these Europeans came here. A lot of us, we befriended them. We gave them stuff. You know, we gave them little land instead of just offering them, just straight offering them. You understand what I'm saying? Just like the people in the Sinhalese island, where soon as they send the motherfucking boats arrive, they can start letting off arrows on them. Like, nah, fuck that. Y'all ain't coming here. They can start letting off on them. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And like I said, man, because these people wanted the land. They wanted to take your land. They wanted to make you a servant on your own motherfucking land. It's what we going through today. And then they bring other friends that's friends to them. And these people come here and they look and laugh at us while they come here and live good and laugh at your ass and say, oh, you know, you Negroes don't want nothing. You never done nothing. And people who talk that shit, you should just look at them like with you. Like I said, man, I don't even want to get graphic with my thoughts. All right. So it said the main rule were to kill only in self-defense, never commit adultery, not to steal, not to lie or get drunk, or not to get greedy, but only give freely and share with those in need. Okay. Religious rituals. And I'm gonna read this and we're gonna keep it moving, because I know a lot of y'all not religious and y'all probably don't want to hear this, but yo, this is some great stuff right here, man. This is beautiful, right? This creation story is beautiful. This is beautiful. I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. This is beautiful right here, yo. And I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this shit right here, yo. I'm definitely feeling this creation story.
It's fire. It's a heavyweight jam right here, man. You know, let's get some more likes in the building. Let's try to get 100 likes in this thing. Let's go, y'all.
Check this shit out, though. Check this shit out. We about to get down to the heavyweight joint right here. Listen to this. We about to finally find out what that feather crown means. Listen to this. The great sun was regarded as part of God. One of his daily duties was to ensure that the sacred fire stayed burning in the temple. Daily ritual began greeting his elder brother, the sun, with a song and prayer, wailing 3 times and blowing smoke from the calumet pipe. It say in each of the 4 directions, east, west, north, south. I seen that shit done before. Then he checked on the fire. People could not enter the temple, but listen, people could not enter the temple. These motherfucking Mongoloids don't have no damn temples. They don't have no fucking temples. So they just stripped you from your whole culture, gave you the watered down story of history, and got you running around here praising some motherfucking Caesar Borgia who look like a fucking cracker, and therefore thou should not, you turn the other cheek. Okay? But they left food offerings there for the great sun. The great sun? Son of man, like, yo, this is like I said, look, man, we're gonna go into some other things that's gonna collaborate this stuff, all right? 2 men tended the fire, which was never left alone to go out. The priest of the master of ceremonies wore a half crown of feather. It say, and carried a stick with a red and white feather. Every month, the entire tribe went to the temple and paid tribute to the great sun. He generally appeared before them wearing a feather crown. Wearing a feather crown, y'all. I don't think y'all heard that. The 2 men tended to the fire, which was never alone to go out. The priest of the master of ceremony wore a half of crown of feather and carried a stick with red and white feathers. Each month, the entire tribe went to the temple and paid tribute to the great sun. He generally appeared before them wearing a feather crown. Okay? They removed your feather crown from your head. Okay? We see slaves, slaves wearing that feather crown. Okay? Let me see something, man. Hold on, it's coming up. Just hold up. God, yo. Damn, y'all. They got us, man. They fucking got us like a motherfucker, yo. Yo, the joke is on us, man. I swear to God, yo. I swear to God, the fuck joke is on us, man. Like, wow. My God. Damn, they got us, man. Look, this is a feather fucking crown right here, y'all. Let me see something. See that? More feather crowns. They go more feather crowns right here. And this is Virginia, but check it out. See this at the top? Feather crown. Feather crown. They go more feather crowns right here. But look. They go the ultimate feather crown. Feather crown. See this? Damn, son. That's why you don't see no Indians wearing that shit. I gotta read it one more time, yo. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I'm probably like, man, this nigga bugging. The 2 men tended the fire, which was never allowed to go out. The priest of the master of ceremony wore a half of crown of feathers and carried a stick with red or white feathers. Each month, the entire tribe went to the temple and paid tribute to the great sun. He generally appeared before them wearing a feather crown and sitting in an ordinate chair carried by 8 throne bearers. Yo, my God, yo, I seen this shit. Let me see something, man. Let me see something. Let me see if I got that picture, yo. I got a picture just like that, yo. Hold the fuck up. Yeah, they got us, y'all. Yo, they got us. Damn, they fucking got us, man. They got us like y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. They got us, man. They fucking got us, yo. With this fucking history, they got us, yo. I swear to God, they fucking got us, man. Damn, they got us, yo. My God, yo, they fucking got us. See this shit right here? Look. My God, yo, they fucking got us, boy. Sheesh, they got us. Damn. I want to find that. I got a picture with them sitting like that. Hold up. Let me see if I can find it. Damn, yo, they got us good. Even this one right here. Storm. Look at this shit. Damn, they got us, boy. They got us like a motherfucker. They got us. They got our own people over here. We are and telling us who the fuck we are. Now, look, this is New York. And this is a drawing from New York with a feather crown on right here. Like I said, I mean, look, man. I mean, look. I got days of people. Fun. There's a crown again. Look. Even here. And this is in fucking South America. Look. Look. This is the crown again. Okay? People telling you, man, you show pictures. Okay. And the pictures is for greater use. Damn, y'all. They got us, man. Sheesh. Let me get back to this, y'all. Whoo, they got us. All right. So look, the great son dressed in rich clothes and was carried from place to place so his feet would never touch the ground. Only certain people were permitted in his presence, but they had to follow a strict rule when approaching him. See the mound builders entry religion, okay? Now, my God, y'all. Look, check this out. I'm gonna read some more of this. All right. So carrying on the traditions. In the 1870s, the Natchez named Creek Sam worked to reorganize the Kituwa, and four mothers. Say, see, government societies. He formed them around a sacred fire his ancestors had carried from the east. These groups tried to resist the changes that more liberal tribal members wanted to institute. At the time, the Creek and his son Watt were two or of the five people who still spoke the Natchez language. Okay. Damn, there's some deep shit, y'all. Let me just ramble through some of this shit. This is some of the language right here. Wachat, I can't pronounce some of this shit, y'all. But this is some of the language right here. Let me see something. Maintain the traditions. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna read this, the tribal leaders, and I'm gonna move on to the next shit. All right, so the Natchez government was intricately tied to the religion. The great son was both the king and the religious leaders. He made the decision for the people, and they followed them salvagelessly. He did, however, have a council composed of priests, warriors, and other important people to advise him. The great son was responsible for appointing the chief temple guardians and ceremony officers called little sons. Usually he selected his brothers or uncles to serve in these positions. The principal wore woman's son, either the great son mothers or sisters chose his successors from among her sons or brothers, maintaining the tradition. The Natchez nation considered itself to have one of the oldest continuously continually functioning governments in the world as part of the four clans mother are in charge of the judicial affairs. Now look that up, yo, because clan mothers, head of the families, okay? Keepers are in charge of the judicial affairs of tribal life. The tribal members have any business they want to discuss at the council meeting. They let their clans mothers know. Tribal leaders are the principal peace chief, great son, and the principal warrior chief, called first warriors or second chiefs. They say they are expected to work together harmoniously, and like clan mothers, they are chosen for their enterprise and virtue. The peace chief oversees internal affairs and calls council of sons, which makes the final decision. Leaders from the other tribes are included in the councils. All council decisions are made in consensus, which means everyone must agree. Consensus, everyone must agree. Say in thousands, the Nazi nations are a great tribal of the Muscogee nations, and they have maintained their tradition tribal government. The Nazi Kuso Indian tribe of South Carolina has an 11-member council with the chief, vice chief, and chairman, treasurer. The state recognized the tribe in 2010. All right. So let me see something. Yeah, this shit is deep, y'all. Hold up, man. All right, man. I'm gonna end that shit there. But it was definitely deep, yo. Let me something real quick. Okay, I already read what their houses is like, pretty much. Pretty much touched on. Let me see something. You know what? All right, I'm gonna read this right here. I'm gonna read what their clothing look like and ornaments. All right, and then food, and then I'm gonna end it, man. I know I keep saying I'm gonna end it, but this shit right here is deep. We already read what the village is now. I read a little bit of this, and I'm gonna go down. So it say at one time the Natchez had many villages, many as 9 villages each, with a temple at the top of the mound. The main mound was an emerald mound. Grand Village had 3 mounds: the Great Sun Mound and the Temple Mound, and the Mound. It's so named by archaeologists because it was not excavated like the other mound. The mound stood 8 feet to 2 meters high, but rose in several stages, revealing the previous structure had been knocked down and replaced. The religious structure housing bones of the past great sons and the perpetually burning fire stood facing the rising sun on the Temple Mount, which was farthest south. The temple had carved birds decorating the roof. The chief mound was near the center of the village. The great sun house, which measured 45 to 25 45 by 7.5 meters and 20 feet 6 meters high, was placed at one end of the mound. The villages had hunts of many different shapes, rectangular, square, or round, but all had high pointy roofs and rectangular doors. It says homes was built of poles that were then covered with mixture. Okay, we kind of touched on that. I don't want to sound like everything. This is pretty much what we talked about in the first when I was basically talking about the Mississippian culture. That's how you know that they descendants of the Mississippi culture. All right. So let's read a little bit about the clothing. It say children did not wear clothes until they reached puberty. The girls donned shorts, frigid skirts, okay, made of mulberry. The mothers wore knee-length deerskin or fiber skirts. It's a men's dressed in loincloth. It's flaps of material that covered the back and front and were suspended from the waist. Chief and noble had black loincloth. Others wore white. Not one wore skirts in the warmest weather, but when it grew cold, both men and women put on ponchos like tunics. It's that fell below the knees, and men wore leather leggings. Nobles could be distinguished by their feather capes. Feather capes. It's a homosexual. Look, listen to this shit, y'all. Homosexual men wore skirts and braided their hair like the women. Wow. It say the great sun headdress was made of net covered with a black feather with the edging of white with white seeds. Now they might be lying about this homosexual shit right here, but I mean, like I said, let's just, you know what I'm saying, keep it moving, man. They might be lying about that shit right there. They might just threw that shit in there to be like, but when I did read about like the French, they was talking about the Natchez, and they did say they encountered a fucking group of homosexual tribes that was out there in the around the Louisiana area. The French encountered these people. So I did read about that it was people who had homosexual qualities at that point in time, and it said that the homosexual men did not go out there and war with the rest of them. They sat home and did the women's chores, whatever, right? So all right, so it say that's crazy, yo. All right, so it say long white feathers protruded from the front, and the shorter ones were attached behind. Other sources say his crown was made of red tassel swan feathers. It say he wore a feather mantle. Okay, check this out. Excuse me. It say men wore their hair in different styles. Some shave half their head. It say other pluck all their hair except for the scalp lock. It's a small piece that hung down the back. It's a few wore tonsures. It's they like the priests. They move all their hair except from a strap around the side and back. Warriors tattooed their whole bodies. Warriors tattooed their whole bodies. Okay. Yo, like I said, man, this shit, we been doing this shit, y'all. We been doing this shit, y'all. Who tattoo their whole bodies? Who do you see today tattooing their whole bodies? there's some Mexicans that do it too. But for the most part, what do you see? Most of the basketball players got their bodies tatted. Most of the sports players now got their bodies tatted. Most of these rappers got their bodies tatted. All right. What I say? Warriors tattoo their whole bodies with serpent, suns, and other designs. A man who had killed a enemy tattooed a war club and a symbol of the enemy tribe on his shoulders. What the fuck do the gangs do? Okay, they say women eventually begin covering their bodies with ankle length white dresses woven from mulberry bark and nettle. Men added deerskin leather jackets to their outfits. All right, so let's read through full. Get your ass out of here. Sorry about that. That's my cat, y'all. It's my fucking hard headed ass cat. My bad, y'all, man. This motherfucking cat be bugging, y'all. That's why sometimes I be messing up when I be reading. This motherfucker be rubbing against my feet and shit. I be like, the fuck is that? All right, so food. Let's see, come now. All right, excuse me, y'all. All right, all right. Where was I? My bad. Let me gather myself together real quick. All right, this is real deep, y'all. Shit, I'm damn near. Let me see something where I'm at. Shit, I'm in on this, man. Yeah, this is deep right here. It's as a farming people, who farm? Who was the farmers? One white people. You don't see Native Americans farming like that. Who was the fucking farmers in the South, y'all? Hmm. Who was fucking farming in the South? Wasn't white people farming. Wasn't You don't see Native Americans farming like that. A farming people, the Nazi, dependent on their crops they raised as their main diet. They grew corn, beans, pumpkins, watermelons, squash that they use in dishes as cornbread. Harmony. Hold up. Cornbread, harmony. You know what harmony is? Harmony is grits. Who the fuck eat grits? What do they eat in Louisiana? They eat shrimp and grits. They also put, you know what they also put in grits? They also put tomatoes and put motherfucking okra in grits too in the South. All right. So and soups. They say women had more than 50 different recipes for corn. Okay, cornbread. Do motherfucking eat cornbread? May, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. Who is infamous for eating cornbread? Do you see any of the Indians eating cornbread?
Man, that should solidify a lot of stuff right there, man. Because little do we know, even though shit has been committed on us, the paper genocide, the classification, the reclassification, the declassification, we still implementing some of the earliest forms of our traditions and customs and cultures, man, without even knowing it, man.
Hold me down real quick, man. Let me go grab some to drink real quick. Hold me down real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. You good now? Cause you absolutely right. And we just gotta, keep focusing, man. This is a heavyweight jam. The brother been going in, he reading, he's he touching on various shit that, just to open your eyes, man. If you knew, now you got the references and the sources to back you up. So make sure y'all supporting the brother, man. Touching this one. Make sure y'all go hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you ain't already. Man, this is a heavyweight jam. Peace to everybody out there, man. Peace to everybody in the chat. Much love. I'm giving out love and high vibes tonight, man. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all the original Americans right here. Man, it's the best chat in the world, man, right here. Can I get a hashtag? The gig is up. Y'all already know what it is. This is a powerhouse. Powerhouse bill. You know what I mean? So we just got to keep our minds clear and keep it focused. It's time for us to come together, man. We got to take back what's rightfully ours. We ain't taking no shit that don't belong to us. That's theft. That's burglary. That's robbery. We taking the shit back that we want, that's ours. You ever heard of an Indian giver? Motherfucker give you some shit and take it back. Same shit. See what I'm saying? So that's how we gonna have to rock. Y'all know how we get down. Motherfucker take your lighter off your table and then you catch them the next day. Guess what? You need your lighter back, dog. I need my lighter back. Come on, you took my lighter off the table. You already know how it go. So the brother going in, you gotta support him. I know y'all ready for that encyclopedia. It's coming soon. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be like doing like the morning.
Yeah, we'll probably drop it in the morning, man. We'll do a grand rising encyclopedia breakfast for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can soak that up. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be
Damn.
fire.
Yeah. All right. So look, cornbread, harmony. Who eat cornbread, y'all? I mean, let's see the Indians eat corn. Let's see if these Indians on any of these reservations eat motherfucking cornbread. Huh? Grits, harmony. Okay. Now look, I said women had more than 40 different recipes from corn, and they made bread from walnuts. Hold up? Y'all ever had nut bread? You ever go over your family house, they make nut bread? They say chestnut and acorn. I never had no chestnut and no acorn before, but I had nut bread before. They also gathered wild skirts, nuts, roots, grapes, and berries. It say each of their 13 calendar month. It say on moon who was based on a certain food, the 13 calendars. What? It say based on certain foods. Our calendar had 13 months. Men hunted for small game, turkey, bison, deer, fish, birds were also part of the Natchez meals. Hunters smoked bears. It say out of holes in trees and save the bear fat for oil. It say to catch a deer, large groups of men chased one until it was exhausted. Then they brought it to the great sun economy, who killed it and divided the meat among them individually. Hunters dressed in deer costumes and made deer calls to extract the animals. Okay, like I said, man, this is heavy shit right here. I didn't plan on reading all this, but let's see healing practices. To become a healer, a person isolated himself or herself for 9 days and ate nothing until after receiving visions. What? They say pronounce shamans. They say or healers use owl heads and small stones in the course of their work. They sucked out objects, a small piece of wood, straws, or leather incision. In addition to curing illnesses, they were able to change the weather, y'all. Come on. The fuck? I do no art, birth naming. Let me see something. Damn, this is going in right here, y'all. Let me see something real quick. Let me see. Courtship. Marriage. All right, hold up, man. We gonna read on marriage real quick, but let me see something real quick. So this is what the temple looked like. Let me see something. All right, yo, you know what? Fuck it, y'all. I'm about to just finish this one out, man. Look, we gonna finish this one out, yo. Fuck it, y'all. I had some other shit, man. I'm gonna have to make a part 2 to this shit because this shit is getting real good. Like I said, man, the energy's got me bounded to do this, man. All right, the Panther of the Crane. What is this about? All right, so I want to read. All right, we read the healing practices. All right, birth naming. Let me see how many people we got up in here, man. Shout out to everybody in the house. Thank you for coming, like always, people. All right, so let's get with this. So the nasty mother washed the baby right after they was born, and then put them on a prepared cradle board, which was about 2.5 feet or zero point 0.8 meters long. And about 9 inches, 23 centimeters wide. The end of the piece refolded to make a footboard. They say inside the cradle board, the baby was laid on a Spanish moss and a hide pillow stuffed with moss. Two bands of deer skin across the forehead kept the head on the pillow and also made it flat. The nasty practice head flattening. They say the child was tied onto the cradle board with bindings around its shoulders, arms, legs, and hips. The cradle board stayed beside the mother in bed or was placed on two pieces of cane so it could be rocked back and forth. Children wore children were rubbed with bear oil to keep their muscles flexible and prevent bugs from biting them. Damn. Let me see something, man. Let me see something. Let me see something. All right. Oh, storytelling. This is storytelling. Panther Crane. Nah, I ain't got time to read that storytelling shit. But let's see court shit. Let's read a little bit about this. All right. They say once they reached puberty, he spent much time together. Women and men in Nazi society could pursue a person who interested. One French writer expressed surprise that a young unmarried woman were aggressive in courtship. Women's son could have as many lovers as they desired. Damn. They say some nasty women intermarry with the French. Huh, I bet they did. You get your motherfucking Creole from. It say couples did not need um, parental approval. They chose their own spouses. Once they decided to marry, the boy had an interview with the old men of the family. They checked to be sure that the bride and the groom was not closely related. And if either of the old men had any objection, the marriage could not take place. The old men set the wedding date. Young men married before age of 25. Wow, that's deep. All right, so marriage. All right. So it say wedding ceremony. It say the men of the family hunted while the women cooked corn and furnished the young men cabin. They had cabins. See, it say when all was ready, the old men conducted the bride to the cabin. The rest of the family followed the young men, relatives greeting them, and allowed the old men to rest on the bed for a while. The young men wore a tuft. It say or on his head hanging over to the left ear, symbolizing that he was to be the master. A sprig of oak leaves was attached to it, meaning that he would not fear entering the woods to hunt. In his left hand, he carried a bow and arrow to show that he would defend his wife and children. The young woman held the laurel branch to signify that she would be pure, and an ear of maize indicate that she would prepare the meal. That's some deep shit, y'all. That's what we need to get with now. Most you women want these big ass rocks on their fingers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fucking Oppenheimers and all these other people with this propaganda. Eric Bernay, Simon Fraud nephew and shit got us buying motherfucking gold, and we was just doing it naturally like this. Now you do it naturally like this, man. Women be like, man, that nigga cheap as hell. Like, man, that nigga gave you what? Oh, that nigga cheap as hell. Like I'm telling you, y'all, this is how shit go down. We under so much programming. You couldn't pull this shit now, yo. You pull this shit now, you can blown. You know what I'm saying? So the men brought the couple together and questioned them about their intentions to live together in peace. If they get along, they were warned that the family would reject them. The groom then asked the young man if she wanted to marry him, and she assented and said she was happy. Her husband then gave a present to her father. After the groom grasped the hand of everyone in the bride family, she did the same with his. A feast dance followed the ceremony. Okay. So it's a rules were in marriage. The great son could only marry partners from the lowest class of society. The Mitch Goopy economy say the great son brothers and the lesser son and his sisters, the woman's son also could only marry commoners. It say the children of the great son and Lisa did not retain their parents' high rank. The children of the woman's son, however, kept their mother's social rank, and one of would usually become the great son when his uncle died. That's some deep shit. All right, so this is your temple right here. That's what it looked like. Excuse me. All right. Now it's the calendar right here. I think this continue right here. All right. It said our calendar has 13 months. 13-month calendar, months, moons. Each month is named for the food eaten the month before. The year begins in spring. The year begins in spring, which falls around fucking March, okay? You hear that shit, y'all? Now check this out, right? I'm not going to front, and I'm not just trying to say this because I know a lot of y'all get tired of me mentioning the Moors and shit, right? The Moors, well, I'm gonna say the Moor Science Temple or the modern day Moors. Their New Year is in March. Now we already know that the reason why people practice the March thing is because March is when spring come in. Spring mean a new life. That's what the symbol of Easter and Esther and the egg and all this other stuff. That's when all the things grow back on the trees, etc. All right, but it's telling you, it said that there are moons which fall around March. Okay, so it's telling you pretty much here. If you look at some of these words look Hebrewic. Look at some of these words. Damn, some deep shit though, y'all. Like I said, the funerals, I don't want to really get into that, but let's deal with the feasting game. Matter of fact, you know what? Do y'all want to touch on the funerals? And let me read the rest of this, and I'm gonna go down. We can finish it with feasting game. So there's already almost 22 pages already. So the Mitch Goopy, who married into the top social class, remained communers all their lives. They could not eat with their spouse and had to stand in their presence. They also praised all day spouse remarks and say if they offended their high-ranking spouse in any way, they could be killed or replaced. Damn. Once they were married, the spouse were expected to be faithful. They were told that their hearts were not their own, but belonged to the other. Divorce was rarely, but men could separate from their wives when they happened to, when they, no, I'm saying when that happened, the children went with the parent of the same sex. Damn. So if it was a man, went with the man. If it was a woman, went with the woman. All right. Natchez conducted elaborate funeral ceremonies for their elite. Everyone gathered at the Mound Plaza for rituals that included sacrifice when a son died. The spouse of several relatives and friends willingly gave up their lives. Servants to were sacrificed to give the son assistance in the afterlife. The parents often their children as sacrifices, particularly in son. It say these volunteers would strangely, and they're considered it with privilege to cross into the spirit world. It say with the son. Now you see that they was offering their kids up. Bilal, Bal, it say when chief tattoo servant, it say died 1725, say the French prevented his brother, the great son, from giving up his life, but tattoo serpent wife only laughed at their objections. She insisted that it was a joy for her husband to die with, for her to die with her husband. Bodies was placed in raised platform near the village. The Natchez smeared mud on mat and covered the corpse with it, but they left the heads uncovered, their feet. No, they left the food next to the body and arbor placed over the body, and plaster was to keep the corpse dry until the flesh decayed. The bones dried were then put into a crane basket and carried to the temple. When the temple mound of the great village was excavated in the 1900s, archaeologists found piles of bones in the area. All right. So this shit is getting down to the bottom right here. You're almost finished with this. Let me see something. Yeah, it's done. All right, so you know what? Let me see something. So let me see something real quick. All right, let's see. Damn, yo, it's a lot of this shit. All right, so let me see something. Give me a second, y'all.
Yeah, man. Let's get some more thumbs up in the building. This is a heavyweight jam, y'all. You already know. Shout out to Holbert. Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Should take the day off tomorrow.
Oh, that's Big Sis' birthday. Happy birthday, Big Sis.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me see something. I'm gonna finish that. That's done with that one. I got another one right here. That was just to touch on, just to let you know. One more time, we already then went through the Natchez, but just to let you know, slavery resistant in Natchez, Mississippi. I ain't gonna read through the whole thing. We already read through it. Say from the time their first arrival in the Natchez, slaves resisting bondage. Slavery existed in Natchez in the 1719 and continued through French, British, and Spanish. It's saying finally American rule. Then in 1863, in the midst of the wars between the states, the U.S. President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed all states in the South. Hold up. I thought the Emancipation Proclamation was for African slaves. I thought they was for African slaves.
Motherfucker ain't heard of no African until after emancipation.
Bro, you hear this shit they're saying? Like, look, the proof is right here. This is not something I'm making up. All right, it says look, it says slaves often rebelled against against the cruelty of their white masters. Now we're not talking about Africans here. We're talking about the ass shit in Mississippi. Okay. Now look, when was the you gotta look and see when was the what's the name? The Devil Punch Bowl. That was they saying that they kept these people in slavery until 1863 to the Emancipation Proclamation. I thought they only free fucking Africans, man. Or black or so-called black people. Because look, now check this out. Now look, let me show y'all something because it's going to go into the second part of this and I ain't done yet. All right, so one more time. It say from the time of their first arrival in Natchez, slaves resisted bondage. Slavery existed in Natchez beginning in the 1719 and continued through French, British, Spanish, and finally American rule. Then in 83. So look, listen, y'all. Listen, they're talking about this is in Mississippi, y'all, right? AP, is this in Mississippi?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
It's in Mississippi, right? So they say in 1863 that President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed all slaves in the South, right? So now so we saying that basically the Natchez was still in Mississippi, right?
Correct. That's
16,
exactly what they said.
All right. So let's go here. So what year is this? Mississippi, race and Hispanic origins, 1800s to 1990. Now remember, reason why you see this in the 1800s because they didn't get there until that time. Now let's go. Let's take a look at some things real quick. Since they're telling you now, we know total population, white, black, American Indians, right? Look, 1800s, 1810, 1820, 1830, 1840, 1850. In 1860, at the time of the Emancipation Proclamation, there was only 2 motherfucking Indians in Mississippi. Where the rest of them at? Anybody know? Where the rest of them at? Hold up. Let's go ahead because this is a column for black. 1870. So in 1870 in Mississippi, there was 444,201 supposedly black people there. So in 1870, it was only 809 supposedly Indians there at that point in time. Okay. So where was these people? Because it's telling you that they have them enslaved. Now look, this is Mississippi. This is a whole state of Mississippi. This ain't like the other one I be doing where it breaks down the cities and everything. This is a whole motherfucking state. Okay, this is a whole state. This is 1880 all the way to 1890. Okay, you see this? Look at the numbers, y'all. Let's go back. Let's look at this again. Just so you guys know. All right. So say the slavery existed in Natchez beginning in 1790. So why are they telling you about any Africans they brought there? And continued through the French, British, Spanish, and finally American rule. In 1863, in the midst of the war between the states, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed all the slaves in the South. Okay? Now check this out. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm reading this. I'm reading about this. All right. So it says slaves often rebel against the cruelty of their white masters, cruelty such as branding, cutting off. What did I read the other day? What was they doing to the people in Virginia? Cutting off their ears, whipping and torturing, and urge for freedom. It's a desire to escape inhumane treatment were the motives for slaves to rebel against their slaveholders. Signed by slave in fear of insurrection, especially when slaves outnumber whites. The rumors of the slave uprising were just alarming to planters as an actual rebellion, real and rumored slave rebellions always caused prehensive prehension throughout Natchez, the Natchez Indian Revolt. One of the oldest, earliest records incidents of slave uprising in the area Natchez Indian Revolt of 1829 among the French colonists. The French traded the slaves, and it's saying the French slave traded the slaves and brought in African slaves to the Natchez. It said to cultivate tobacco, which is fucking bullshit. They just told you that they enslaved these people into 1863. Okay? It say the slaves came with the militant spirit. Their aggressors initially took the form of resistance on the slave shit. Now here they go talking about the slave shit, all right? So we know, look, it's talking about Armistead. No, they talking about the people who they was taking over there to the Caribbean that basically wilded out against them, all right? But like I said, man, look, yo, I ain't like, come on, man. If these people don't fucking stop with this bullshit, yo. Now, let me see something. Let me see something. I just showed y'all, man, pretty much what the situation is. I would have read all this, but we don't need to. We don't need to read through all this. Let me see something. All right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to read this. Let's read Civil War part. It said American Civil War period also saw many slaves uprising. The timing was no coincidence. Slaves were aware of the event outside of Natchez. Slaves underground spread news from the plantation to the plantation. The news spread rapidly. Information was spread through other means as well. Slaveholders discussed politics in front of the house slaves who spread the word to the slave quarters. Slaveholders uncovered the conspiracy among their slaves to rebel in Second Creek area south of Natchez. Shortly after the outbreak of the Civil War in 1861, diary entries and letters of Natchez white reveal that slaves planned to murder all the white males in Natchez and spare the white women whom the slaves would marry. Look, and spare the white women who the slaves will marry. After the end, that means they was already creeping with some of these crackers, with some of these white women. That's why they spared them, because they knew that the white women was accepting them. Say after the insurrection, the slaves would march to meet President Lincoln. A committee of slaveholders questioned the slaves and hung as many as 40 rebels. Say Natchez newspapers remained silent about the slave conspiracy, printed nothing. Editor feared that news of the planned insurrection in Mississippi would undermine the Confederate war effort to bolster Union morals, if not for a private corresponding between whites. There would have been no record of slave revolts, and silence of the Natchez newspaper suggests that the news of the other slave conspiracies are man, that's some deep shit, y'all. Look at your sources right there. All right, hold on. I had something else I wanted to touch on real quick. Let me see something. I think it was this one. I think it was this one. Was it this one? Matter of fact, it was this one. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna touch on this one, and I'm done for the night. All right, we're gonna read through this one, and we done for the night. And just real quick, let me just give y'all some food for thought. Let me see something. All right. So I mean, y'all already pretty much then read through a lot of these. Just to let you know, let me just before I go, I'm gonna go back to this Annabella and I'm gonna show y'all something else, and we're gonna finish this shit out. All right. All right. So this is dealing with the Natchez tribe again right here. Um. mm. Hey, AP, you can hold me down real quick.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got
so
you, bro. Absolutely. You already know.
let's go ahead and
Go
talk
ahead,
real quick.
talk
Let me
real
get
quick.
let me get, make sure my
Make
daughter
sure my
all right
daughter
real
all
quick.
right real quick.
Yeah, you good, man. Just keep, the people's in here, man. Just the family, man. It's been a heavyweight bill. They up with us this far, so they ready to keep the bill going. I already know, so we gonna keep it going. He gonna read through this last little dagger for these clowns who in opposition of what we standing on. So we just gonna keep bringing out the truth, man, and keep showing you the sources and giving you the references and giving you the articles and giving you the books. We can't do nothing more. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really too much more for us to do. What else can we do? That's the key. So, we just gonna keep applying pressure, keep doing our due diligence, staying in our lane, and ultimately the goal is to unify and really come together and work with cohesiveness. You know what I mean? So can't nothing take it away from us. You know, only thing that can take it away from you is your pride and integrity is yourself. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself. Love the people that's side by side, ready to put the boots on the ground with you. So you already know what it is. My bad. It ain't a Nissan birthday neither. So apologize about that. I fucked up. Indians fuck up too. You feel me? So we just gonna keep flying. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to the big bro Killer. Shout out to Chief, Seeker, Joe, Greg, Laney, uh, Diana, Mimi, uh, Greg, Chopper, Cosmic. Let's see who else we got in here, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Mr. Dark Bro, Jaguar, David. Y'all know, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know exactly who y'all are, man. Let's get this shit shaking. Hey, one that went extra in on me. I'll be out by 11. Real shit, but this a heavyweight jam though. You know what I'm saying? I got my pen and paper out as well. So shout out to y'all. Peace, no sellout. What's going on, Chief Stony? Shout out to the brother, no sellout, aka Chief Stony. That's the bro. That's what it do, man. So yeah, man, we just gonna keep this shit rocking, man, and keep it going, man. You know how it is. You know, I'm just reading what the chat got to say. So if anything y'all want to say for the brother get back in and start going in, let me know. Put it in the chat. I'll speak on it. Yeah, straight up. Straight up. And then the number one thing is to understand the connection between these certain tribes and certain people that they tell you wasn't connected. Then we gonna have to play in the part of saying, well, all these other groups of people that was coming over here, European, the Dutch, the French, the British, they wasn't working together. As a matter of fact, they was in opposition because they was wanting to get in the land and they was wanting to get these Negro terror. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta be able to make that distinguishing point and been able to show and prove how these people was the Aboriginal indigenous people of America. Yeah, I'm gonna be at the powwow, Aboriginal Truth. I'm gonna be at the powwow in April. It's going down. You know I'm gonna be there. I'm turned, bro. I'm in that thing. Promise. I'm pulling up. Yeah, man. So, like I said, it's just really about applying the pressure. So, you know, he about to get back on here and read. You know, A1 goes in. Ain't nobody outside of Dane Calloway got more content or subscribers than the brother Unconscious One. So please give the brother Unconscious One a round of applause, y'all. Y'all know how it goes. Woo woo. Turn up, give him a round of applause. What's that? My horn. I hit that motherfucker on y'all ass. Some sound effects. Something. I'm dead ass serious. So y'all know how it is, man. Hey, one, where you at, bro? You know, feeding that food. Cat straight, bro. But that's the bro, man. Shout out to the big bro and Thompson one, man. He always hold it down. For sure.
All right, there we go. So let me finish. All right, so this just as some additional information. I wish I already touched on this, but just to let you know that they was saving them. The Natchez tribe was defeated by the French early 1700, and the survivors scattered people. The Natchez descendants live in many different places today, but most of them live among the Chickasaw Creek and the Cherokee tribes of Oklahoma. Those three tribes absorbed many of the Natchez refugees. Other Natchez people were sent to the West Indies by the French. And some Afro-Caribbean people today have Natchez and other Indian ancestry. All right? So now remember, in the other one I read, they said that these people were enslaved all the way up into the 1830s. Now, it's another one, another source real quick. A lot of this shit is dealing with the Treaty of Paris. So I don't know if you guys know what the Treaty of Paris was. Let me read this. All right, so look. The Peruvians used matak of heart and wood and bricks dried in the sun. They had the art of smelting ore and of refining silver, of which they made domestic utensils. They had also hatchets of copper made of hard iron, but they did not worship idols. They carried idols of the people they conquered. To say to their temples of the sun Cusco. It say hence the mounds upon which images have been found in the Mississippi Valley cannot be ascribed to the Peruvians. The question remains, can they ascribe to the Mexicans, to the Mexicans or to a similar race? It say all the nations of west of Mississippi. It was no, I'm sorry about that. It said all the nations west of Mississippi, when they first became known to the Europeans, were worshippers of the sun. It say and were governed by a despotic princess. It say two prominent circumstances in which they differ from Indians who live in the Great Lakes. It say and on the east side of the Alleghenians. It say at this time the Natchez tribe of Indians occupy almost the entire eastern part of the Mississippi Valley south of the Ohio River. It say in portions of that north of this river. Let me see some. Hold up. Let me get that. Hold up. All right, I don't even want to lose in my bag because this shit is kind of sometimes reading this shit is confusing. My bad. All right, right here. Here we go. It's saying north of the Mississippi River. It's saying most of the mounds were the limits of their settlements. It say there were governed by one man who styled himself as the child of the sun, or the sun, and upon the beast, which was the image of the luminary. Okay, the luminary is the sun. Okay, all right, so the child of the sun. Okay, this stuff is starting to sound more like reading that other passage is definitely sounding more like some stuff we've heard before. All right, so his wife was called the wife of the sun, and like him was clothed with absolute authority. When either of these rulers died, the guards killed themselves in order to attend them in the other world. They had one temple for the entire nation, and when on one occasion it caught fire, some mothers threw their children into the flames to stop their progress. Okay, now what do that sound like? That sound like bow. Okay, that's not bow. Okay, that's what they were saying they was doing to their first child. They was throwing them into what's the name? But it sounds similar. All right. So some families were considered noble and enjoyed hereditary, while the great bodies of the people was considered vile. The great chiefs, the descendants of the sun, the sole object of their worship, their approach with religious veneration, and honored him as representative of their deity. It's in the temples which are constructed with magnificent, they kept up a perpetual fire as the purest emblem of their divinity. Now we have the fire that never burns. Like I said, this is pretty much sounding like what we just read. Okay, they say the Mexicans and the people of Bogota, worshippers of the sun and the moon, and had temples, altars, priests, and sacrifice. The name of as the Natchez melted away with their decline, seemed to keep pace with the wasting away of the Mexican Empire. The Natchez was partially destroyed in the battle with the French east of the Mississippi and after the retreat up the Red River, the Crimson River. It say west of the Mississippi. They were finally conquered, their women and children reduced to slavery and distributed among the plantations, and the men were sent to serve as slaves to Santo Domingo. Okay? Santo Domingo. This is the history of Tennessee from the earliest time present, say together with historical and biographical sketch of Montgomery, and here goes some other names. All right. So it say the Natchez were most highly polished and civilized of any race of Indians. They had established religion and regular priesthood, and usually distinctions created by rank were understood and observed. Okay. Now let me see something. All right, so now let's say Elephant Mound. They set up the Crimson River, the Red River. Okay, if you look at fucking Alabama, if you look at fucking mascot, what do they call it? Roll Tide, the Crimson Tide. They call them the Crimson Tide, but their fucking their mascot is a damn elephant. Okay, they found elephant bones up in it. Check out the brother you being news or whatever. He talks that too. But like I said, man, and I've been in contact with the brother. Actually, I'm gonna give him a call. or whatever, and we're gonna get into it. Now check this out real quick though. Real fucking quick. This is something I want to read real quick. All right. Now I say, of these perhaps the most remarkable in the Big Elephant Mound. Listen, the Big Elephant Mound, a few miles below the mouth of the Wisconsin River in Wisconsin. From its name, its form may be inferred. It is 135 feet in length, otherwise properly proportionate. It scarcely seems probable that the people who constructed these mysterious mounds could have represented an elephant or a mastodon, with having seen one, and it is perhaps justly inferior. It say that the Big Elephant Mound was constructed in the days of the mastodon. The mastodon is a giant motherfucking elephant. Okay, now yo, this is a heavyweight book right here, y'all. This book has a lot of stuff in it. And like I said, when I get the time, I'm going in on this book. Okay, this book right here has a lot of stuff on it. I don't think nobody ran across this shit or whatever. I happen to be blessed to run across this book. But yeah, it has a lot of interesting stuff. A lot. And when I get an opportunity, I'm gonna go. I just don't like the font. The font fucks with my eyes or whatever for some reason. But yeah, man, they tell me that they found mastodon bomb, and it's like I said, and all this is connected to the Natchez. All right, that's why I decided to go over this or whatever. But like I said, man, it's a lot of stuff that's connected to the Natchez. The Natchez is definitely like one of the most interesting group of Aborigines that I came across. I definitely, like I said, enjoy reading a lot of the information. That wasn't it right there. Hold up. Let me see this one right here. All right. All right, so here we go. Let me read a little bit of this. You know what? Hold up. Let me see something. This is basically talking about voodoo, and I wanted to make sure that this was the one I was looking at that we're talking about. See, this one pretty much is talking about it. Here we go. See, it's talking about the Natchez right here. It's still a matter of fact, you know what? Let me read a little bit of this because it's pretty much what I was going into. All right, so it's a Native American influence on voodoo. Now we just found. Now we already know that the French had colonies in the Caribbean. The French had Haiti, and Haiti is part of Santo Domingo. Okay, they telling you that they sent the Natchez to the island Santo Domingo. Now, if we find out the Natchez was worshiping voodoo, then we already know what time it is, okay? Now, I say Native American religious traditions predate all other Western Hemisphere. They say by thousands of years. Now look, check this out. Now I said Native American religion. So the religion we just read that came from the Natchez predates. It says all other in the Western Hemisphere by thousands of years. Yet academic has only begun to investigate how these religions influence and shape subsequently belief systems in the New World. In Haiti, the Caribbean, Louisiana, Mississippi Valley, voodoo and related traditions adapted ideas from the Native American people about spirit, power, and magic. particularly it say from the practice of the so-called five civilized tribes. Now, this is like I said, it's gonna be a little distorted, but we can take what we can take and pretty much add it to what we already know. It's saying other Native American groups of the Southwest, more than a cosmos was shared. However, believers also incorporated Native Americans themselves perceiving particular powers in the person, it say, and objects of Native Americans connection between African Americans. We know that we know African Americans. We know that we are the Aborigines. They just trying to basically fall out of our culture. It say, and Native Americans were fairly common after 1492, particular in the 17th, 18th century. Indeed, popular historians Charles C. Maine encounter of the 17th century, less a meeting of Europe and America than a meeting of Africa and India, because the number of Africans forcibly brought to the New World dwarfed the number of Europeans who immigrated. It say in Florida, Louisiana, elsewhere, Indians. It say Indians and African united. Now we know that's not true. With that African shit, let's get that out of here. We ain't reading that shit I was reading. They ain't telling you nothing that no Africans came in and formed with the Natchez, okay? But in this one, it does. I'm just trying to connect this one to the voodoo. All right. So it say was not uniformly friendly. However, many Indian society possessed slaves, say, and had no interest in making common cause of enslaved people. See, now when we start talking about Indians having slaves, they want you to believe that Africans, but they was other. You don't know that the Indians resemble Africans, and you lost. See, I know that. See, I know. So when I see that Indians owning other Indians, we know that Indians is helping the Europeans raid other Indian villages. So that will be the reason why the Indians own slaves. They telling you that the slaves was Africans to throw you the fuck off. Specific historical moments of connection when Native Americans shared their religion with African Americans, it say, are harder to come by. The end of the 17th century, virtually at the Native Americans on Haiti, say have been extremely exterminated. Exterminated by the Spanish violence of the European disease. Now listen, we already know that they took people from Louisiana, Mississippi to the Santo Domingo. Now they're going to try to confuse you. Also, what they're doing is by saying that, listen, what's the chances that all of the so-called Africans, all the people in so-called Africa do not practice voodoo? Okay, so why the people that brought here have to voodoo along with the people that they was already, like I said, they are trying to confuse us with this bullshit. Okay, they are told you that the French, which the French is the people responsible for sending the people to Haiti, but they didn't come from Africa, they came from Mississippi. So they trying to fucking confuse us, man, simultaneously by telling you. So Native Americans on Haiti has been exterminated by the Spanish violence and European diseases. It say any religious syncretism, it say there would have to have been long ago, although a small number of Natchez Indians were later forcibly relocated to the island. Another possibility point in interaction could have occurred. Now, I say another possibility, they're not sure, have occurred. It say in the United Maroon resistance between Native Americans and Africans. Now they trying to tell you that the Maroons resisted against Native American Africans. They never told you that. You never heard that it was no united resistance against Native Americans and Africans on the island of Haiti. You never was told that. That's how I'm saying, like they fucking with us with this story. Or it's a Bahar of Hispaniola. Similar spiritual connections could have been forged in resistance of the Maroons. They trying to say could And when they say have and possibilities, that means they not sure. Okay, now look. Say Indians in the 18th century in Louisiana, much later in the area of the Indian Removal Act in the United States, 1830, 1839, fossilized tribe of the Southeast, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, Seminole, was forced from their land in Oklahoma in the possession, passing through the cradle lands of Hoodoo. It say in the Mississippi Valley, all these moments present opportunities for shared religions conversations. Now here you go, trying to say that because they passed through there, they somehow was taught voodoo and then they took it with them. No. You see what I'm trying to say? Check this out. They say, yet the real evidence of the connection between African religion and Native American belief lies not in the of historical connection, but in the community of cosmos and parallel between voodoo and voodoo practices of Native American religious traditions. It is possible that the generalize about the Native American religious beliefs that to a Native American comprised literally hundreds of tribe, clans, kinship groups, and legal entities. Each of them possess different concept of history, religion, and spiritual, to say nothing of Native Americans who practice Christianity and their religion. Say nevertheless, a regard in the spiritual world are shared among the Southeast Indians. That's us. They say in cultural groups most often linked to emerge the Mississippi Valley voodoo. See, the Mississippi Valley voodoo. This is so. Look, let me see something. You know what? I'm gonna end it there. I don't feel like reading no more of that. But you check that out. Mississippi Valley voodoo. I'm gonna write that down and do some further research on it. But I found a lot of research on this or whatever. But I'm getting tired. I don't feel like really reading no more. I wanted to finish that last article that I was pretty much touching on. The Treaty of Paris. You got the Treaty of Paris to go along with all this what I'm talking about. But this right here, all right. I'm reading this and I'm done. All right. Say the 1830s witnessed a succession to profound, often wrenching charge that remade Mississippi at the start of a decade. White settlements was confined to the region between Mississippi and Pearl River and to another small pocket of the upper branch of the Tongabe River, despite the ratification of the Treaty of Dokestan. That's something that's something of interest. Let me write that down. The Treaty of Dokestan. All right, let's write that down. 1820. All right, dealing with Old Hickory too. It say most of the state remained in the hands of the Chickasaw Confederate. By 1840, the natives had been driven west of Mississippi River, and the state has emerged as a nation leading cotton producer, forging a political code, impetized the age of Jackson. Okay, it's a since the 1790, the federal government has cast eyes on native land in the Southeast though a combination of assimilationist program. See, look, assimilationist. Damn, assimilationist program that occurred at federal trading houses, treaties, and warfare. The United States had gained control of loose pieces of native land, but many native nations, including the Choctaw, Chickasaw, remain entrenched on their land. The election of Andrew Jackson in 1828 unleashed a renewed assault on the southeastern Indians. The passage of the Indian Removal Act allowed the nation government to purchase the land of Native Confederate Confederacy, the nation residing east of the Mississippi River, and to relocate these people a few lands west of the river. The state of Mississippi conspired with the federal government to place additional pressure on the native. And this is where you get the motherfucking the devil's punch bowl, where they talk all them black people got killed. Them was not slaves, them was Indians, man. Now look, and they was nasty at that. All right, so it said legislative class 2 state laws, extension act, and extended laws over the Choctaw territory made it legal for the chiefs to exercise political authority and abolish all Choctaw customs. Look, and abolish all Choctaw customs not recognized by the state of Mississippi with the signing of the Treaty of Dancing Rabbit. It's a creek. The Choctaw became the first people to surrender their homelands and to begin the process of resettling in the Indian Territory. In 1832, the Chickasaw and the United States completed the Treaty of Pontotoc. It's a though which the Chickasaw ceded their land in northern Mississippi to federal. See how they was taking your land, and these niggas sitting up there acting like they ain't done did nothing. Like this shit was peaceful. They was taking your fucking land, cause any type of way they motherfucker move in your place and tell you what you gonna do on your land, that they already out of order. Because this ain't your land to begin with, especially if you came from another land and your whole intentions was to take the motherfucking land away from the people. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a removal of the Choctaw and the Chickasaw opened some of the nation's most fertile farmland to cultivation. Now, how do you give up, man? How do you make a treaty with somebody who ain't supposed to be here? Oh, because they threaten you. Okay, all right. It say some of the nation's most fertile farmland to cultivation at the time when soaring cotton prices and the general less loosen of the credit market and promise quick profit, and enterprising planters and slave trading look to make their fortunes in Southwest between 1833 and 1837. Mississippi 5 land office sold some 7 million acres of public land, much of it on easy credit. Virginia attorney and humorist Joseph Baldwin captured the heady, feverish enthusiast at the time of his semi-autobiographical. It say the flush time of Alabama and Mississippi. Baldwin recall the country was just setting up. Marvelous accounts had gone forth of the fertile of the virgin land, and the product of soil was commanding the price, remunerating to slave labor as it has never has been remunerated before. Growing demand for cotton in England. All right, I'm getting tired now. All right, textile mills drove this economic duo. Dynamo. But it's my bad, yo. I'm getting tired, yo. But we gonna finish this shit. Fuck this. We're gonna get fit. Let me regroup, drink some water. All right, let's do this. All right. So it's a growing demand for cotton in the England textile mill drove the economic dynamo. But its gears and pistons were lubricated by the cheap credit that emanated from England banks and made its way to the cotton factories and port cities like Mobile and New Orleans, hoping to reap their share of the windfall banks of southwestern states began issuing notes with reckless abandon money to of what past war money was only cheap thing to be had. Baldwin noted ruefully the state banks were issuing their bills by the sheet like a pattern steam printing press is issuing. He continued, and no other Sean was asked of the application loan than an authentic of the great distress funding. Now look, what they ultimately was doing was they was just printing money and just giving land. That's the reason why, like in that's the reason why, like in 1800, like 1930. In 1930, what they was doing was pretty much taking people who had sovereign land or people who had gold. The same thing they doing now, like they burn them people out in California. That shit they burn them people out in California is done. They doing that shit on purpose, either to take the land from them or to do something else with the land. All right, I don't want to go too much. This is not exactly what I was looking for in the article, but it did touch on some good things while we was at it though. But yeah, man, I mean, definitely I enjoy doing this video. Shit, a lot of reading, you know what I'm saying? Got a little tired though, but I think I pretty much tied the Mississippians into the Natchez. We learned some additional things about the Natchez, as well as the Natchez was sent to the Caribbean. We been knew that the Natchez was enslaved. And like I said, a lot of things that we learned. We also seen images of fucking Europeans running around here trying to be Natchez. And like I said, man, you know, it's a lot of this shit ain't nothing but a fucking lie, man. It's a damn lie. This shit is bullshit. It's sad. It's sad how they lie to us or whatever. And these are the original people. I'm saying, these are original people. If you look up the Curry, these are like Natchez people right here. And you see these people right here. If you look, you'll see them or whatever. But for the most part, man, we still here, man. And they still lying. Got these crackers running around here giving powwows when they telling you they not even descendants of the people who was dead. So with that being said, man, I'm about to end this, man. I'm getting tired. AP then dropped. I don't know where the hell AP went. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Laney, please send me your email. Email me your information, and I will send you the t-shirt. Go on the website, pick out something you want or whatever, and just email me. Email me and just tell me exactly what it is, and I'll send it to you. It take me a couple of days. It might take me about, last time I ordered something, it took me about almost 12 days to receive it. So it might take a couple of days to receive it. I mean, or about a week, a little over a week to receive it. But definitely email me, give me your address. I go in there tonight or early in the morning. I order it and I send it to you from there, from the website. So with that being said, man, shout out to everybody. And I appreciate you. Please, if you can, go to my PayPal account if you can donate something so we can get this documentary out. It's gonna be a heavyweight joint, something real heavy. That I'm gonna really put a lot of work into. Also, like I said, if you like the other than Laney, who I'm gonna send a t-shirt to, if you like to go to my t-shirt spring account, go to the t-shirt spring account, cop yourself something, support your boy. You know, say I got your back. Get my back for me. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming through. Hopefully y'all got something out of this or whatever. Down the end of it, I'm getting a little tired, yo. But for the most part, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully we seen that the Mississippian culture, the descendants of the Mississippians are the Natchez. They telling you that they sent the Natchez to the Caribbean, but then they gonna lie and talk about, they showing you that the Natchez also practice voodoo. So like I said, it's a lot of information dealing with the Natchez. And I definitely enjoy learning something. Like I told you, when I showed you this right here, where are these Indians that was enslaved at? Where are the Indians enslaved at? Where are they at? This is the black column right here. There's no Indians here for damn near 60 fucking years until the 1960s. You see to the 1860s. You two motherfucking Indians on here. So where the Indians they was enslaving all the time? They right here. They been right here the whole fucking time. They ain't white people. We know the Indians wasn't white people, so what you think they classify them as? And this is how you gonna catch them in all of them, because what you do is all you gotta do is look and see what states had Indian slaves, go on the census and see is these Indian slaves on the motherfucking census, because they not white. So obviously they had to classify black. Look, this shit is self-explanatory once you really understand. Once they tell they enslaved Indians, they enslaved you and they classified you as black civil mode too. That's the same reason why in the 1800s they was voluntarily putting motherfucking putting Negro on color on your birth certificate. So like I said, man, I do this, man. Support your boy, man. Definitely love and light to everybody in the chat room. I appreciate everybody for coming through. I appreciate all of the comments and everybody. But I'm about to get out of here, y'all. Tomorrow I gotta some things I gotta do tomorrow. But like I said, hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. Me and AP we'll finish up that encyclopedia joint. We got a lot to do with it. And like I said, there's some other things I want to do too, as far as some more historical stuff that was founded in America, man. So with that being said, man, on your way out, if you ain't hit the like button, hit the like button. Got a $1.30 up in here. Had a little over that. Can go to the motherfucking t-shirt spring. Cop yourself something. Also, if you can, send a donation so we can keep building up this money so we can get this shit done, man. Cause like I said, my projection date is April to get this done. All right. So with that being said, yo, I appreciate everybody coming through, yo. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.